What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City fan reaction video, everyone's favourite video series from me at this moment in time. We're going to be reacting to the Manchester City 1-1 away draw against West Ham, which happened, of course, yesterday, and getting some of the Manchester City fan reactions to that result. But before we crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying this content and you want to help to support my channel, then subscribe, press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. I am aiming for 14,000 subscribers at the time of recording this video. We are now less than 200 subscribers away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget also social media links. You can find them in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and search for me and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Instagram are particularly important because if you want to feature in any of these future fan reactions, then I will put out on my story on Instagram asking for you to DM me your videos for a chance to feature in one of these videos. So Instagram worthwhile following me on there if you do want to appear on one of these future fan reactions. Don't forget also, leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy this video, and most importantly, let me know your thoughts of this result in the comments below, as I'm always interested in what you do have to say. And so without further ado, we're going to crack on with this video. We're going to start off with the fan reactions, and our first video sent in comes from Max.
Dropped in the game. Not sure what to say. We should have won this game. Had a lot of chances. Sterling in particular had two pretty clear-cut chances. Can't take anything away from Antonio's goals. Brilliant finish. Can't defend those goals. We just should have scored more than them, and we didn't. And we dropped 2 points because of the result of that. Positives, man of the match, Cancelo and Foden played great. Cancelo out of position in particular. Yeah, disappointed I suppose. And it's currently 12:30 AM in Australia, so I think I'm going to go to bed.
So thank you very much, Max, for sending in your video from Twitter. Loving the moustache. We all know how much I love a good moustache. But I agree. I'm disappointed too. I feel like it's 2 points dropped this for Manchester City from that result yesterday. We're struggling to score goals. We're normally very good at scoring goals. And so I feel like that's just an area for Manchester City to be able to improve on. I do agree. Phil Foden, Ciao, two standout players for me yesterday. They were excellent. I also agree that Michail Antonio's goal, it's a fantastic goal. It's a really good finish, and sometimes you just got to take your hat off and say, that was a really good goal, and nothing else really could have been done about that. So, moving on to our next fan reaction, it comes from Sean.
Hi JSGC. We got a 1-0 draw versus West Ham. Sterling and Mahrez had great chances at the end, and they blown them. Sterling should have scored a 1-on-1 chance. We had loads of chances towards the end, and we could have put them away through like Sterling, Mahrez. They could have also had a couple chances. They didn't really have many chances in the second half, but they still had like a couple. Like they still scared us from like corners and like chances through like Jared Bowen and that. Edison made like one big save in the second half, and Foden got the equaliser, and it was questionable that the Antonio goal could have been disallowed for a handball, but it got given, and it's a 1-0 draw. And then do you think Mahrez should get dropped for Torres, or Sterling needs a break? Thank you for this video, and cheers GC, bye.
Thank you very much for sending your video over email, Sean. To answer your question, I would probably rotate continuously with our three wingers. So Raheem Sterling, Riyad, Mahrez, they worked really well last season, their partnership. They worked really hard on their game. For the large majority of the games that came last season, they were exceptional, unplayable at times. Both were flowing really nicely. Both were scoring a lot of goals. And then this season, it just seems to have come to an end, really. I don't think that it's helping that City haven't got a fully fit striker, and so we're having to change things around. We're having to move a Foden out wide or a De Bruyne out wide. It's not helping the flow of the game. Sterling's having to go more centrally when he likes to play out wide and on the left-hand side. I think Raheem Sterling is a player that sometimes flourishes playing on the right-hand side too, and it isn't something that we have really seen, so I would like to see Raheem Sterling possibly moving over to the right-hand side, maybe moving Riyad Mahrez onto the left-hand side, and also, I also think that the big solution here for Manchester City is Ferran Torres. I don't think he's been given enough minutes. That's my complete honest opinion. When he has come on and made cameo appearances and started in the Carabao Cup, he's looked very good. And so I'm not too sure why he's not getting into the team. Mahrez and Raheem Sterling aren't playing particularly well, and so I would like to see Ferran Torres starting, whether that be on the right, whether that be on the left. I think it'll just be a continuous rotation. If we do have a fully fit striker starting, then if Mahrez or Sterling needs a rest, then Mahrez could start on the right, Torres on the left. Could be Sterling starts on the left, Torres starts on the right. You could even switch them across, like I've just mentioned as well. Maybe a solution there for Manchester City. Now, it's all about rest and, like I said, continuous rotation. It was a bit strange that Pep chose not to make any changes to the starting 11 from that FC Porto win. Not too sure why. It's not something that he's done in a long time at Manchester City. Maybe he was just seeing that as a key maybe to consistency and sticking with the same 11, where it didn't really work. I felt like the two standout players for Manchester City against FC Porto were our two substitutes, Phil Foden and Ferran Torres. I feel like they should have started in this game. I feel like if they did start in this game, then the result might have been different. But yeah, I am growing frustrated by Manchester City's lack of goals. No striker means that we're having to move players around. It's not really flowing too well. I think it's up to Manchester City's attacking players, the Ferran Torreses, although not being given a fair chance. So I'm looking at Raheem Sterling and Riyad Mahrez in the absence of Aguero and Gabriel Jesus. We're looking to them to score goals, so they need to be clinical. And Sterling and Mahrez yesterday were anything but clinical. Look at Liverpool. They've got a striker who likes to drop deep, doesn't score too many goals in Firmino. Where does the goals come from? Salah and Mane. All comes about from consistency. They know how to put the ball in the net. Sometimes Salah doesn't have a very good game. You can guarantee yourself that Mane will be having a good game on that day that Salah isn't playing particularly well. And Mane might have a bad game. Doesn't happen too often, but it does. You can guarantee that Salah will be having a good game, or Firmino will be having a good game. And so the goals are always continuous there for Liverpool, and that's what City need to continue to try and do. Mahrez and Sterling did it very well last season. This season, though, not doing it so well. Might be down to fatigue. We're playing a lot of games. I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, though, if it is down to fatigue and the need a rest, Ferran Torres, he's good to go. That's my opinion. But yeah, I'd probably be starting Ferran Torres for that game against Marseille. Feel like he deserves a good shot in the starting 11 for Manchester City, so I'm hoping that he will be starting in that game. I am hoping that Phil Foden, now, two good performances that he's put in when coming off the bench, I'm hoping he'll be starting in that game against Marseille on Tuesday evening as well. But yeah, thank you very much for sending your video in there, Sean. Now, moving on to the next video comes from Jasmine from Instagram.
Pep out. Mahrez out. Everybody. I don't know what's wrong with this team. What is wrong with this team? There needs to be drastic changes right now. Otherwise, I'm still going to support him. I'm not a plastic fan, but this can't be like that. Pep, if he continues like that, I swear, he's been good over here, but now it's just time to go. It just is. It just is. Like, you did great, anyway, but right now it's just time to go. I'm not just blaming on Pep. I think everybody else on the pitch today was bad, except Foden and De Bruyne who did something. Everybody else, Ruben Diaz was also good, but everybody else was trash, and these need drastic changes now.
Thank you very much, Jasmine, for sending your video in. I don't see the drastic changes being made by Manchester City. I think we had problems last year. We've got problems again this year. The problems that we had last year were defensive problems. A lot of them problems have been addressed this summer. Apart from left back, we are going with Cancelo. And whilst Cancelo continues to do perfectly fine for Manchester City. I don't think they'll look at a left-back in January, considering we look a bit short on goal, so City may look maybe towards midfield and attack instead. I think City, like I said, looking a bit short in midfield. I would like to see another player signed in the middle just to help out Manchester City's long-stretched season that we've got coming up. Lots of games to be played for Rodri, for Gundogan, for Kevin De Bruyne, for Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva. There's lots of game time there for them to be playing. Fernandinho picking up an injury, he's entering into his last year of his contract. I'm not too sure Fernandinho will be a Manchester City player this time next year, and so it's something that City do need to think about, and I think that is something that it could be addressed in January. However, I do think there are bigger priorities for Manchester City, and that does come in attack, whether that might be a wide man if they wanted to use Bernardo Silva in a central role only, or whether that might become in a striker. And if it is a striker, does City go for a short-term option? Do they go for a loan, or do Manchester City spend a lot of money and bring in what they think might be a long-term Sergio Aguero replacement? He's got less than a year left on his contract as well, so there's lots of little things just adding up that need sorting. It must be unsettling for Fernandinho, for Sergio Aguero, for Pep Guardiola. They don't know what's going to be happening with their futures, and I feel like there needs to be more clarity, and that clarity needs to come before January. So if there are any issues that need resolving from the transfer market, then it can be resolved obviously in January before it is too late. Otherwise we're facing having an unsuccessful season, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. Manchester City's first aim for the season has to be top 4 first. Walk before you can run. Stop looking at first place, start looking at 4th place. Once you get into the top 4 and start building up the points tally, then start looking at first place and then assessing where you're going from there. So that's probably what I'd be looking for. In terms of Pep Guardiola, I think more and more fans, I think it's a small minority, but I think there are becoming more and more fans that are growing frustrated at Pep, that are wanting Pep to leave. Pep will not be sacked by Manchester City. He will not leave Manchester City before the end of the season. Whether he signs a new contract or not remains to be seen. If he doesn't, then he won't continue as Manchester City manager after this season. He may want to commit himself to Manchester City and want to continue to build. He might be enjoying himself, to which case he might sign a contract. How long that will be, again, I do not know. Will it be 1 year? Will it be 2 years? I do not know. I really do not know what Man City have got in the pipeline. I think City over the coming weeks and next couple of months will try and sort things out in terms of the future, because City have to then start looking at what players they want to bring in, and no player is going to want to join Manchester City if they don't think that well, they don't know who's going to be in charge. They're going to see a City a bit disorganised. They don't know what's happening. It's unsettling, and they'll assess again in the summer. And like I said, by the time that happens, season could be gone, and it could be a disastrous season. It could be a good season. I do not know. Do not know. What I will say, not being a great start here from Manchester City, and so we're needing a lot more consistency. Playing well in some games, grinding really well in some games, and other games not playing very well, not turning up. So yeah, thank you for sending in your video. Now, the next video comes in from CEO of Naming Me Unknown from Instagram, so thank you for sending in your video.
Half was really slow. We weren't controlling anything. They were controlling everything in the second half, though we were the better side, but didn't take our chances as well. Sterling, he's not that good. I don't really like him. Mahrez is not that good. You know, we need lots of business to be done in the January transfer window, and you're probably not going to like this, but I really want Pep out. Pep out.
Again, familiar theme here, Pep Guardiola, Raheem Sterling, Riyad Mahrez. They're getting a lot of bashing today for their performance from yesterday. I did think that Pep Guardiola got his team wrong. I thought Foden should have started. I thought Ferran Torres should have started as well. So I'd have probably took off either one of Rodri or Gundogan. I think it's a bit too negative in my opinion. So I wouldn't have gone with two. I know Gundogan went further forward. It's just... I'd have preferred Phil Foden. He moves. There was a lack of movement in that first half. That first half was a criminal half of Manchester City. It was a horrendous half. And I will speak about that in just one moment. I felt like Torres should have started. I'd have probably started him ahead of Riyad Mahrez and probably started him on the right and alternate between him playing on the right and on the left and moving Sterling over and switching during periods of play. But I felt like our problem yesterday was not so much creating chances, because we did have chances to score, just wasn't clinical enough. simply wasn't clinical enough. We created some good opportunities in that second half. We weren't creating anything in that first half, and that's where the problem was. We create the opportunities that we created in the second half, in the first half as well. I can guarantee with the quality City have got, they'd have found 2 or 3 goals. And that's the standard that we've come to expect from Manchester City, and it wasn't really there. It was a game of 2 halves. I thought West Ham were better than Manchester City in that first half. They were making things happen. They were putting pressure on Manchester City, and they were dictating the play and dictating what was happening. And it was coming from a lack of movement from Manchester City. Phil Foden managed to sort that out. But still, Man City, when things are going wrong, they tend to just go desperate, work the ball out wide. They know how to work it from the back and get it out wide. From there, they don't really get too much movement up front, and so they just work the ball into the box. They cross the ball into the box sometimes. You got small attacking players. Yesterday it was Aguero, Sterling and Mahrez. They're not the tallest of players. Putting crosses into them, it's kind of useless unless it's going to be pinpoint, and so for them first 45 minutes didn't really work. They were switched on after the 45 minutes into the second half. We need to be doing that from minute 1 through to minute 90 though, not from minute 45 until 90. But yeah, thank you everyone for sending in your videos. My quick thoughts on the game. Problems back for Manchester City this time. Surprisingly, it's coming offensively rather than defensively. We simply aren't scoring enough. I think our defence is looking stronger. We've still got Ake and Laporte to come back as well. And so I think at the back, I think we're looking very good. Michail Antonio's goal was a fantastic goal. Fair credit to him. Sometimes you just got to appreciate a good finish. I was impressed with Phil Foden. I was impressed with Ciao as well. His strengths definitely going forward. I think something that we can work on with Cancelo would be working with his weaker foot, his left foot. He's getting a lot of space and time on his left foot. And he's not got a bad left foot, so if they continue to work on that, then teams are going to start trying to close him down on his left foot, and that can put him onto his stronger right foot and gives us another outlet, in particular in going forward at left back. Like I said, second half, got no problem with Manchester City. The only problem we had wasn't clinical enough. In particular, Raheem Sterling was the biggest chance one-on-one, and Riyad Mahrez hitting the post. But first half, just really poor, and that's where City need to improve, and they need to be switched on from minute 1, wanting to win, moving, continuously moving, too pedestrian at times, and a little bit too lethargic, so they need to sort that one out. Took too long for us to get going, and we're putting ourselves under pressure. Happened in our last 2 games, going behind, you're chasing games, it's tiring, you can't keep doing that. And so it just doesn't seem to be clicking for City at this moment in time. It doesn't look right. Some people look to the transfer market and say that sign a new striker, sign a new attacking player. Like I said, do you go for long term, do you go for short term? I do not know. Some people look to Pep Guardiola as well. Is his future unsettling the players? Is it unsettling the team? Again, I don't know. I find it a little bit unsettling. I don't know how the team are feeling. Pep says it's not an issue, but is it an issue? I don't know. What I do know on the pitch isn't quite right from Manchester City, and it hasn't been right all season. But we're playing every 3 to 4 days. We've got a good chance now to build. We're unbeaten is a positive I can look at. We need to start building on these results, because considering we're playing every 3 to 4 days, it means the mind can't settle on a result. It needs to focus on to the next game. And so from that aspect, when you pick up a result that isn't the greatest, like this West Ham result, it means that your mind will start to focus actually on playing again on Tuesday against Marseille. We need to get up, dust ourselves down, ready to go again for that game. No time to dwell on negatives. So yeah, they're my thoughts. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments below, so please let me know your thoughts. Where's it going wrong for Manchester City? What were your thoughts on yesterday's game? Who impressed you? Who didn't? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. Subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. Aiming for 14,000 subscribers. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Don't forget also social media links in the description below and sliding across at the bottom of the screen if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll have the link out for the live watch along of the Marseille game. That will be out tomorrow to set your reminder. I'll see you all again on Tuesday evening for that live watch along. Fingers crossed, a better result for Manchester City. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you are all safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.